If you think knowing every single detail about the car is going to help you close more deals, you're already losing. It's not about you knowing the specs or any of that stuff. It's something completely different. And once I show you, it's going to completely change the way that you sell cars. See, I remember when I first started out in the automotive industry, the first thing that I did was I started memorizing all the specs of all the vehicles. I used to work at a Kia dealership. I memorized the gas mileage, the fuel mileage, the different trims, all that sort of stuff. And I actually believed that that was the thing that was going to lead me to more sales. That's what I did. I was a product expert. I knew everything about the vehicles, but I still wasn't selling more. And so I gave my friend a call, and that's when he told me, he said, brother, you got to understand, you're not actually in the car business. He was a finance manager at that time. He said, you're not actually in the car business. You're in the people business. You need to understand people more than you do the car. And when that clicked and that changed for me, and when I started putting my customers first instead of knowing everything about the car, when I started understanding human psychology, when I started understanding how to ask the right questions, when I started understanding how to give the customer a great experience, when I started understanding how to do a great meet and greet, how to make the clients feel special, how to actually pay attention when the customers are talking to me, how to do a proper investigation, how to do a proper guest sheet, a proper walk around, how to put on a great show for the client, make them feel special. When I started making the sale more about the client than I did about myself, everything for me started to change. See, the belief that most salespeople have is that they need to know everything that there is to know about the vehicle. But what you need to understand is that most of the times, nowadays especially, when clients walk in, they already know more about the car than you do. They already know about the horsepower. They already know about the different trims. They already know about the engine, V6, 4-cylinder, towing capacity. They already know all of these things because all of that is available online. And when clients walk in, guess what? You will rarely ever get a client that doesn't know what it is that they're looking for. The reason why is because the automotive industry has this stigma on it. So a lot of people, what they do is they do their research before they walk into the dealership because honestly, they don't want to get screwed over. They don't want to spend more money than what they should be. So what do clients do nowadays? They do all of their research at home. They know all of those things. But what the truth is that you don't need to be a product expert. You need to be a people expert. And what you need to do is you need to understand what the client's needs are, what their wants are. You need to give them a great experience. You need to make a friend. Let me give you an example. If you walk up to a stranger and you ask him for $20, are you going to give it to him? Probably not. But if you walk up to your friend and you ask him for $20, there's a high possibility that he's going to lend you that $20. The truth is that you need to focus on building a relationship with your customer, not just spending and spewing out specs out of your mouth, because that doesn't matter. What matters is building trust. There's 3 things that are going to lead you to a sale. And if you don't get these 3 things, a client will never buy a car off of you. They need to trust you, they need to like you, and respect you. These are the only 3 things that you should be focused on achieving throughout the sale. Getting them to trust you, number 1. Where does trust come from? Trust comes from being fully transparent. Trust comes from showing them the vehicle that they came in to buy and not trying to flip them with something else. Trust comes from giving them a great experience. And you need to get them to like you. How do you get somebody to like you? Treat them like a person. You get somebody to like you when you actually let go of the result. Most salespeople, the reason why they suck at sales, the reason why they're not getting to $10,000 per month or 15 or 20 is because all they're always worried about is themselves. They're selfish. All they're ever concerned about is the sale. How am I going to sell this person a car? What do I got to do to close this customer? Is this customer ready to buy today? And most salespeople I see, they're always trying to take shortcuts. They're always trying to pre-qualify a customer to figure out if they're ready to buy today. But what they don't understand is that everybody's a buyer that walks in through the door. It might not be today, but it might be tomorrow. But how do you get a person to like you is you give them a great experience. You make the sale not about yourself, but you make it about the client. You make them feel like they just walked into their own home or a best friend's house. And then you got to get them to respect you. How do you get them to respect you? I'll tell you what. Your first impression is the last impression. How do you look? How do you talk? How do you meet the client? If you look like shit, you smell like shit, the client's not going to buy a car from you. And honestly, nor should they. Because you didn't even have the decency to get dressed up, get dressed to impress, and go to work. And now you want to ask somebody for their business? You want somebody to trust you with $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, but you can't even dress yourself correctly. You can't even put on deodorant. You can't even take a shower. You can't even come to work with a clean shave or a trimmed beard. If you can't do that, you don't deserve the business. So at the end of the day, it's not about the specs. It's about you understanding that you are in the people business. And that clients nowadays, all they want is a good experience. All they want is to be treated right. All they want is a seamless process. So many times, salespeople, they try to close the client at the beginning when they don't understand that the close should only take 10 to 15 minutes. The rest of the hour, hour and a half is just you trying to get the client to trust you, like you, and respect you. And if you're still at this video at this point, if you really want to learn how I made $250,000 within 3 years in the automotive industry and how I do it consistently every single year from now, click on the video in the description below. It'll basically walk you through where I started and how I got to where I am. And it'll walk you through step by step how I did what I did. But at the end of the day, look, the automotive industry, car sales, it doesn't need to be as hard as you're making it out to be. It's actually really, really super simple. But what happens is that as salespeople, we're selfish. We're always thinking about ourselves and we're not thinking about the other person. As soon as you change your mindset from making it all about yourself to making it all about the client, and you treat every single client like you would your mom or your dad or any of your relatives, you'll end up selling more cars than you've ever sold. You'll end up getting more referrals than you ever have. And this business will become so much easier. Till next time, I'll see you later.